It's Friday, July 21st. I'm Scott Squires, and this is SaltWire Today. After months of negotiations, the Nova Scotia Council of Nursing Unions and acute care employees have reached a tentative agreement for over 10,000 nurses. The agreement addresses wage increases, improvements to work-life issues, and other benefits. If ratified, the agreement will be retroactive to November 2020 and expires October 31st, 2025. The unions are now holding information sessions for their members, with ratification voting starting as early as today. For the agreement to be accepted, at least 51% of those who vote must vote in favor. The tentative agreement is a major step forward for Nova Scotia nurses who have been without a contract since November 2020. It's also a positive development for the healthcare system, which has been struggling with staffing shortages for well over a decade. The union and employees are hopeful that the new agreement will help to retain and recruit nurses in Nova Scotia. A plan is being pitched to turn an abandoned school property in Lunenburg County into a multi-million-dollar affordable housing complex. Nest Affordable Living Association is a not-for-profit agency that is negotiating with the municipality to buy the former Centre Consolidated School. Sheldon McLeod has more.
We started officially February of last year, so we're just almost 2 years old.
Now, the release from the municipality says in negotiations for the purchase of the centre school or acquisition.
Yes.
Are you looking to buy it?
Yes, okay. That's the goal. The vision is huge. It's not a small task to do what we're doing. There's a lot of working gears and components to it to see it happen. But our goal is to get it all to run together, to make it come together and make it a viable option for housing for us here. We're not social development housing, we're not low-income housing. A lot of people consider us to be a low-income housing provider, but we're not, because that's the responsibility of the provincial government in itself. We are geared specifically towards what is considered the low to moderate income earner. It's the most unserved area here on the South Shore, and we know of hundreds who are right now struggling to either pay their rent or even to find a place to live at the moment. So we're geared specifically towards that income bracket.
We're in the early negotiation stages for this facility, but affordable housing, who can speak against it? We know we need it. We will explore all options throughout our municipality for affordable housing, and our doors are open for affordable housing.
The building in itself is salvageable. But we are going to be completely gutting it. It's got to be remediated for asbestos and mold first professionally, and then we're going to be taking it down to the superstructure and then building from there. And in doing so, gives us this ability to get it done quicker, but to be able to provide the housing at a faster rate. And in doing so, it just allows us to be able to, put together all the cogs and make it work. So we have been in a capital campaign for a while. We have some very generous donors, and we have a sizable amount already set aside for this from donations this year. We are working with the CMHC through the Federal Affordable Housing Fund that's available for projects just like this. So we're in that process going through it. And we're talking to other independent agencies as well as the provincial government and the federal government to help kick in with this as well.
There's an online bidding battle for a Donair in Alberta. I dropped by Quinpool Road earlier today to see why so many are so wrapped up in this story. What does the Alberta government, a Donair costume made in California, and King of Donair have in common? Let's go inside and find out. Joined by Nicholas Nahas, co-owner of King of Donair. Nicholas, how'd you find out about this Donair costume?
The wonderful world of Twitter.
That easy, right?
Yeah, it's just, everyone has a phone in their hands. It's just so easy to say, hey, share or retweet and tag us in it, and that's how it started.
Yeah, so this costume, I guess, was purchased for a series of commercials back in 2015 that never happened. It's just been sitting around. The Alberta government has it on an auction site. The opening bid was $50. That has skyrocketed. Now, when I checked this morning, the bid for King of Donair was the top bid, $10,1973. Is there a little meaning behind that bid, Nicholas?
Yeah, 73 is one of our favorite numbers. It's the year that we introduced the Donair to Canada, so we had a little bit of fun with the bid, and 1973 is our birth year.
You were telling me before we started recording this that this is kind of the granddaddy of all the King of Donairs.
That's right. All Donairs in Canada, they all basically started from this shop here. We're still operating in the same kitchen that we did in 73, and we're here 50 years later.
This has kind of taken on a life of its own now, this auction site and where the bids are going. Regardless of whether or not King of Donair has a successful final bid and gets the suit, what would you like to see happen?
I think the government of Alberta should sort of let the winning bidder choose a charity of their choice to donate the money to.
Last thing, look right in there and tell folks why they need to come to King of Donair and try the original Donair.
You got to come to KOD for the best. A lot of these people out west, they think they have the better Donair, but we put our Donair to anyone there, and we say they're best in the country.
All right. Thanks for doing this, Nicholas, and good luck with the bid.
Thank you.
You can follow King of Donair on socials and check the bidding standings online. My full interview with Nicholas can be found by clicking the video tab at saltwire.com and also by visiting our YouTube channel. A team from Alaska has been in Halifax this week demonstrating their sport, and they're hoping it gets added to the roster for the North American Indigenous Games. Coach Kyle Whirl and 3 athletes from Alaska have been giving demonstrations at venues around HRM during the Indigenous Games. Whirl has been working diligently since 2019 to incorporate Arctic sports events into NAIG.
Arctic sports are a collection of northern indigenous games, mostly originating from the Inuit people that were used to test strength, endurance, balance, agility, and maintain physical fitness during the long winter months. And they were traditionally played by the hunters to teach hunting techniques and survival skills that help the hunters be successful and provide for their communities. We feel it's important because this is one of our Indigenous sports that we want highlighted and really elevated to the same level as other sports that are played in our community, like basketball and soccer and such. We want to make sure that our youth see that we value our own culture and uphold our own Indigenous sports.
My favorite events would be the swing kick, one-hand reach, and Alaskan high kick. Personally, it's one of my favorite sports because it's different from any of your Western sports. I also play basketball, and I feel like it's very different because you have a sense of community, whereas with other sports, you're very against the other person. You want to beat them. In this sport, you're trying to beat yourself, so you're uplifting every other athlete or the other athletes around you, and they're helping you as well, rather than like you're trying to beat them. So you want to beat your personal best. You're only against yourself, which is how I feel when I'm competing. I'm going to beat my personal record, and I want everybody to beat theirs.
It's considered a demonstration sport this year in Halifax and will be a trial sport at the next Indigenous Games in 2027, being held in Calgary. Time to check in with weather specialist Allister Aalders, who's trying to stay dry at Horseshoe Island Park. Allister?
Happy Friday, Scott. Well, I managed to get out here before the intense rain started falling in the Halifax area. Not sure if you can tell on camera, but there was a bit of light rain when I was out. A weather radar was key into that planning, and a weather radar should be kept on hand this weekend if you do have any plans outside. This evening we will have showers with a risk of thunderstorms, and of course that comes with the threat of embedded downpours. We'll see the temperature near 20 degrees, and 20 is where we start on Saturday morning. We will have showers with the threat of heavy downpours and thunderstorms. Now into the afternoon on our Saturday, showers will continue with a risk of thunderstorms and of course downpours, and a high of 22 degrees. And then on Sunday, more so scattered showers and drizzle with the risk of thunderstorms. And we could see a few sunny breaks, especially later in the day. The temperature will be near 23 degrees, but if the front clears a bit faster and we see more widespread clearing, temperatures could bump up a bit warmer. So the good news about the weekend forecast is that this rain will not be continuous, but showers will be with us. They will be off and on. They will be heavy at times, and we will likely be hearing some rumbles of thunder. We're looking at about 20 to 40 millimeters of rain in the Halifax area, with pockets of 50 to 100 millimeters due to the threat of intense downpours. So we need to keep an eye on that this weekend. The good news for everyone weary of the rain is that most of next week is looking sunny right now. So we just have to get through the wet weather this weekend and then some sunshine next week. Have a good weekend. Scott.
Thanks, Allister. That's all for now. For more video, audio, and articles, stay tuned to saltwire.com. And of course, you can find us on socials. I'm Scott Squires. Thanks for spending some time with SaltWire today. And a reminder of what Nicholas Nahas from King of Donair told me earlier today: lettuce isn't a traditional topping on Donair. Have a great weekend.
Turn off the noise. Tune in to What Matters. What matters is information you can trust. What matters is the news you can use to make life's big decisions. Informed healthcare choices, casting the smart vote, or opening that business. What matters is understanding the world around you. Let SaltWire connect you to what matters with unlimited access to the information you need for only $20 for the first year. Become a member today.